Hello, welcome to Raymond Castile's Basement of Horror. This is our annual Halloween giveaway. I'm so grateful to everyone who has subscribed to this channel and everyone who watches these videos, and this is my way of giving something back to my subscribers and allowing them to participate and join in the fun. Every year in October, we give away a vintage or modern toy. We have a drawing. We pick a name out of a cauldron, and it'll show the cauldron. There we go. It probably still has the names from last year in it. Yeah, it still has the names from last year's drawing still in it. So this is the magical plastic cauldron. We will pick a name out of this cauldron, and whoever it is will have their choice of either a vintage horror monster toy or a modern, contemporary, new horror monster toy. So it will be their choice. We'll give away one thing, but to one winner, but they will be able to choose vintage or modern. And the way we do this is you have to comment on this video. By commenting on the video, you are entering the drawing. And you have to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and comment. And the subscription part is very important. The spirit of this giveaway is that this is for the subscribers. So be fair if you're going to participate. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. That's very important. Subscribe, like this video, and comment. You don't have to say anything in particular in the comments. Just say hi, whatever you want to say. The point is that you make a comment, because that's the official list of entries. When I make the list of names to draw, I'm going to go to this video, I'm going to look in the comments, and I'm going to get the names from the comments. So whatever your screen name is in the comments, that's what's going to be in this cauldron. So if you don't comment, you're not going to be in the contest. And all you have to do is subscribe, like the video, and comment. The deadline will be October 29th. I believe that's a Friday. Yes, it's a Friday. October 29th. Friday, October 29th. At noon. Central Time, because I'm in Central Time. So noon Central Time. So that's how this works. This is the third year we've done this. So I hope we're getting the hang of it now. It's the third year we've done this. And it's worked pretty good the past 2 years. So I hope it works just as well this time. Okay, so let's see. What do we have to give away? All right. First, this is the vintage. Well, we have two vintage toys to choose from. This is one of them. This is from 1985. This is a Traveler's Count Dracula doll from 1985. Traveler's Count Dracula doll. This is a vintage doll. It's a big doll. And it has a vinyl head and a stuffed body. And the hands and the feet are also stuffed. But it has like leatherette and fabric shoes. You know, so it's even though they're stuffed, it looks pretty cool. Underneath, it's got a very elaborate costume with a shirt and a vest and everything. It's very fancy, very well done, almost overdone. It's kind of over-designed almost. It's got a very fancy cape. They really spared no expense with this costume. It looks really good. And the head has that great vintage monster look. It actually looks more like something from the 70s than the 80s. It's got blue eyeshadow, kind of like a Lincoln Dracula. So it's a pretty cool toy. It comes in a box that kind of resembles a coffin. They have these handles on the sides. And it has this wonderful illustration. So let me give you a closer shot here. And I can never tell when I'm talking if there's a glare. Like I could say, here's this beautiful doll, and it could be just white glare, and I wouldn't even know it. So, but I can see this camera. Now there we go. We can definitely see that shot. It's very clear. For a change, usually there's all kinds of reflections on the plastic. So there we go. There's the Drac Bat. That's the name of the toys, the Traveler's Count Dracula doll. I don't know why it's called Drac Bat. That's kind of an odd name. And you can see that wonderful illustration there. Dracula with bat wings flying over a cemetery. And there's an open casket. I guess he's going to go to sleep in there. Oh, I can never see. I pause because is that a casket or a coffin? That's a coffin, not a casket. Have to be specific here. I think that is a coffin. Casket would be shaped differently. So there's a full moon, a castle in the background, bats, and there's Drac Bat leading the bats. And I think maybe he just came out of there just now. Maybe he's going to go to sleep in his coffin. I'm not sure. He probably just came out of it because it looks like it's midnight, so he's not going to sleep again. It's still hours from daytime. And you can get a good sense of what that costume looks like in there. You see he's got a vest and a fancy shirt. I think there's a bow tie there. Can we see his shoes? Yeah, there you go. I think you can see him. So, he doesn't have vinyl shoes, interestingly. They are stuffed. It's a fabric. His feet are fabric. They're not vinyl, like you might expect them to be. But still, they're pretty well done. And as I recall, his hands are fabric. And here's the back of the box. Nothing fancy. Just a very plain back. Now these are not hard to find, and they're not expensive. There was a warehouse find of the Drac Bat sometime. I don't know if it was in the 80s or 90s. Well, it's from the 80s, so is that really a warehouse find if it was in the 80s? I think in the 90s there was some unbought old store stock that was discovered. And I actually talked to a guy, this is where I got this. He had literally a pallet of these. So he was either the guy who found them or he bought the find. Whoever originally found it, he bought it. And he had a quantity of these. And I noticed recently someone on Facebook pointed out that there was a website selling these fairly inexpensively. And I'm sure that must have come from the same source as this one. So it's a great toy, but it's not rare because there was a find on them. If not for that find, I'm sure this would be like $200 or $300 if they hadn't turned up in the warehouse find, just because of how nice a toy it is. And it was kind of obscure at the time in 1985. It was not a well-known popular toy. I think you would have found this at maybe Spencer Gifts, that kind of a store, something like that. It does have a kind of gift shop sort of quality, or novelty store quality. But it's not rare and it's not expensive because there was the warehouse find. So it's very, if you really want one, you can get one. So I'm not giving away something expensive, hard to find, but it's a nice toy. If you don't have one, this is a good opportunity to get one. Shipping on this is going to be ridiculous. I don't know. I mean, you don't have to pay it. I pay the shipping. But I'm just telling myself, I'm warning myself, shipping is going to be a bear because it's such a big box. But I will ship it if you want this toy. If you win and you want this toy, I will ship it to you. Alright, so the other vintage item, you can hear it making noise. This is the Monster Magic set. I'm trying to verify who made this. Beth Whiting? What kind of... Lisbeth Whiting. Okay, I don't know who that is. This is the Monster Magic set by Lisbeth Whiting. Could be Whiting. Whiting. So it's not Hasbro or some well-known company, but this is a 1960s item. So this is 1960s. I mean, it looks like the 60s, doesn't it? And it has a vaguely Tor Johnson character over here, and a vaguely Dracula-like character over there. And he's a little Vincent Price-ish. Not exactly, but he doesn't really resemble anyone in particular, but I think Vincent Price would be the closest match. But he's obviously dressed as Dracula. And then we've got, fun for the whole family with scenes of all the fun you're going to have entertaining with this magic set. And then inside, and the box is thoroughly mangled. This is not a mint box by any means. You can see it's got split corners, all kinds of issues. And here's the contents. And the contents are certainly not mint either, and it's not complete. It's got more stuff than I remembered when I looked at it before shooting this video. I was surprised how much is still in there. So it's got a fair amount of stuff, but it's not complete. That's for sure. It's not complete. So let's take a closer look here. Whoa. It's all going to fall apart. So that's what's inside of it. That's what's inside. Yeah, a little dirt and grime here and there. It's old. It's from the 60s. It's definitely a 1960s toy. And you can see what I meant by some of the damage to the box. It's not a mint toy. It's not mint by any means. So just stressing that so you're not disappointed. But it's got this beautiful box art, which is really the reason to want this thing. Yeah, the reason anybody cares about this is because of the artwork on the box. This is amazing artwork. This Dracula, obviously inspired by the James Bama Aurora Dracula artwork from the Aurora model kit from the 60s. And there's the family having some wholesome entertainment, doing magic tricks. This looks like a birthday party. You can amaze your friends. And here's some kind of evil warlock, kind of Mr. Clean, kind of Tor Johnson. He's looking at a crystal ball. So it's got great 60s monster graphics. And it's unique that you don't see these particular graphics used in a lot of stuff. You know, people haven't copied these graphics and reused them on a bunch of other things. Well, so I gotta set this back the way it was. It fell all apart. The stuff came loose in the package. So if you want this, I'll take these things out and I'll package them individually. I'm not going to put them in this and ship it like this. I will put them all in separate little bags so that they're not rattling all over the place. So there we go, the Lisbeth Whiting, whatever it is, Monster Magic set from the 60s. What year exactly, I'm not sure. But it's 1960s. Okay, so there's that. Now, let's get to the modern stuff. Okay, if you want a NECA Boris Karloff Frankenstein, there we go. It has a little bit of a bend in the hang tag. They all have that little bend like that. I noticed NECA, well, not all of them, but I mean, it's hard not to find a NECA box that doesn't have that little hook bend. So I've noticed they've gone to a plastic one. The most recent ones that came out have plastic ones. That's a step in the right direction. So we've all seen this, but just so this came out during this over the summer. I didn't do a review on this specifically. It was in my live stream, and I talked about it then, and I showed pictures. I showed video of it then, but the video quality on the live stream wasn't so great. So there's the Frankenstein. It's a very nice toy, and they're coming out with a Wolfman and a mummy. A Wolfman and a mummy that they've shown. I know, yeah, I think they've shown images of both of those now, the Wolfman and the mummy. And they've talked about a Dracula too, but they haven't shown any images of the Dracula. But they're apparently going to do, as you would expect, Dracula, Wolfman, Mummy, Frankenstein. I'm sure they'll do a bride at some point. Who knows what else? Maybe they'll do a creature. You would think. I don't know if they would do Phantom or Hunchback. Okay, so if you don't like that, if you don't like the Frankenstein, you want a little more late 20th century horror. Okay, we have a Quint. Quint from Jaws. Different kind of horror. A little more modern. Instead of the gothic Frankenstein horror, a little more modern horror. I say modern, but of course it's not very modern now. It's like 50 years old. So there's the NECA Quint figure. And you can have fun posing him in all these exciting ways. Now this particular box, the hang tab is really nice. No creases on it. But the corner is smushed. It's got some crunching on that corner there. So be aware of that. Not a mint box. Hang tag's good, but corner not so much. So there's Quint. And they've announced a Hooper and shown prototype images of it. So we're at least going to get Hooper. Brody, I don't know. He was canceled, but I have a feeling they're working behind the scenes on trying to save that somehow. I can't imagine they're just going to be satisfied with doing Quint and Hooper and not Brody. I think they're going to find some way to salvage that. And some people have speculated that they're going to do multiple versions of Hooper, like a scuba diver Hooper. I don't know. I mean, I love the idea of a Hooper with the Quint, and then I hope we get a Brody and a shark. But I don't think I need Hooper in different outfits. That's a little odd for that movie and that character to do different variants and outfits like that. Unless they do a shark cage. Like, when they do the shark, they announced a shark. If they do the shark, and he comes with a cage, with a scuba Hooper in the cage, okay, then I can see it. Alright, here's the last potential giveaway item. This is the Mego 14-inch Dracula. So you can choose this if you want. Mego 14-inch Dracula. And we talked about this in a previous episode. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's a tear at the top, right there, at the top of the lid. I think that's the only flaw in this one. Otherwise, it's in great shape. So, you know, it's a great modern toy if you want a big Dracula figure. These are a little on the pricey side, so but you know, I tried to choose items that were of comparable value so that Drac Bat, it's maybe just a little more expensive than one of these, and the NECA figures are kind of comparable price to these. They're all sort of in that $30 to $50 range. Now the Monster Magic set, I've seen all kinds of prices. I've seen $100 or more dollars in the same condition. I've seen 10 or 20 bucks. I've seen just from 10 bucks to 110 bucks or more. So it just depends who's buying and who's selling that week. There's really no rhyme or reason. There's not an established value on that item. It's too obscure. There's not much knowledge about it, not much demand. So it's just depends on what the seller wants and what the buyer's willing to pay. So I can't really put a price on that. But I think 50-ish is probably fair on that. So all of these things are in that roughly 50-ish range, with the modern things being on the lower side and the vintage things being on the higher side. So that's the So that's what you're getting price-wise in this giveaway. You can choose between modern 14-inch Dracula or NECA 8-inch Quint or Frankenstein, or vintage Monster Magic set from the 60s, or Traveler's Drac Dracula doll from the 80s. Those are your choices. And remember, to enter this contest, you have to subscribe, like this video, and most important, leave a comment. I don't know that you've entered the contest if you don't leave a comment. That's how you enter. The prerequisites are subscription, like the video, but then the act of actually entering the contest is to leave a comment. That's how you enter. Again, the deadline is Friday, October 29th at noon Central Time. And that night I will draw a name and I will post that video on Saturday and announce in that video who the winner is. And then we'll have to connect over Facebook. That's the best way to get hold of me. Connect over Facebook and make arrangements. Give me your address, and I will send you whatever toy you wanted as soon as possible. You won't have it by Halloween, so it can't be part of your Halloween festivities, I'm sorry to say. But you can look at it as an early Christmas present, if that makes it more attractive. A late Halloween present or an early Christmas present. All right, I think that explains everything. We're all set. 3rd annual Basement of Horror Halloween giveaway. Leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment to enter this contest by noon Friday, October 29th. Okay? Got it. Thank you very much. I'll see you later.